to preserve, promote, and what's the other one? Protect. But I want to put it in the order that I put it earlier. To protect, preserve, and promote. That's the order I want it in. Right? Now, what has happened within recent times is that we have been unable to protect and preserve hard-fought interests. We have seen the erosion and the rolling back of gains made by our predecessors. And as I'm on that, I do not know how many of you may have noticed that with the advent of COVID, not only in Guyana, but around the world, many employers have used COVID as an excuse to exploit workers. Many have made super profits during this period of COVID. What we see here is, capitalism in its most predatory form, pernicious form. And these are the guys who tell you, about corporate responsibility and how much they care about the workers and so on. And yet, above all of that, they make super profits, right? And do little in terms of assisting the workers who are in large numbers suffering. COVID is an added cost to the average family. Added cost. The very mask you got to wear, it costs something. How many employees are contributing to that? And then all these other things that you have to purchase. Sanitizers and all those things. Added cost to the average family. And in spite of all of that, we are seeing where starting with the state as the employer, continues to, and what I'm referring to here now is not limited to the current political employees of the state. It goes way back. Over the past 28 years or more, 30 years or so, we have seen the political operatives of the state violating particularly two core fundamental ILO conventions, to which they have not only adopted, yes, sir, not today, two out of the others, the 8 others, the right to collective bargaining. Right to organize and free and collective bargaining. We continue to see impositions, and we continue to observe where the state is showing scant regard, no respect at all to this process. No respect. And something happened recently. And we have to pay keen attention to these things. If we are worried about salt Australia, we need to pay keen attention. How the whole process of collective bargaining and due process is being violated. Recently, there was a protest on the sugar belt, protesting for increased wages and so on. Right? Okay, everybody know the industry is dealing, right? GAU demanding increases for the workers. The management say, we don't have any money. The government give me $8 billion to you recapitalize and so on. The point is that workers must not subsidize any industry. And wherever workers agitate for increased wages and better conditions, we must support them on that. The question is whether the company can pay. That is an issue. You understand? But if you know that the company ain't get the ability to pay, don't employ them. You understand me? So workers must not subsidize and taxpayers must not also subsidize. That would be my argument. But the point I want to make is this, is that there's a certain process that we all know about in terms of addressing industrial relations matters. If it is not resolved at the bilateral level, then you go to the Ministry of Labor, seek conciliation, you go to arbitration, whatever. But what we have seen in this case is where there has been a political intervention, right? Circumventing the entire process, and a decision is made for payment, right? While it, and I tell you, but there's a danger in that too, because what I read is that there'll be a one-off payment, right? Each worker may receive something with the vicinity about between 26 and $30,000, right? Now, that intervention is what you call an intervention for pacification, you know, to quiet the people. When that money comes, you get another problem. You get another problem. But the point I'm making is this, that while you've had that intervention, as it wrong as it is, as it relates to the agitation from one section of the labor society, you are having a similar agitation going on within the public service. But we're not hearing about any intervention. You know, we're not hearing any intervention, right? We have also been reading about a festering problem in Linden, where a chief executive officer made derogatory. Those workers have been protesting for a number of weeks. There has been no intervention. No intervention. So when I speak about the question of the political actors' poor management of race relations, those two examples are very glaring. Very, very glaring. Right? So what we have to do is, as I said, go back to basic. We have to try to preserve, protect and preserve those gains that you already won. Because you can't protect and preserve what you've already won, then you can't promote any. Can't promote any. Yeah. Well, how are we going to do that? My suggestion to you is simply this. You have to go back to that song that we sang, Solidarity. For too many of us, we have lost that value. We have lost it. We have to recapture it. If we do not, then that relevance that I spoke about. You see, we can't hope for anybody outside of the movement will grant us relevance. We have to own it. We have to make ourselves relevant. We have to make ourselves relevant. And when one listens to that very Trajan song, I would want to comment. That song tells us how strong and powerful we are. But we are only strong and powerful when we work in concert together. Individually we're weak, but when we work together, we are strong. And I want to suggest that we can start demonstrating that strength and that solidarity by taking a decision here today that within the shortest possible time, we shall get together, we shall organize, and we shall visit Linden and give support to our sisters and brothers in their valid struggle against that TU in Linden. We have to start somewhere. I want to close by saying this. we know that COVID has really created great inconvenience and discomfort, not only to us as individuals, but it's affected also our work within the trade union. What, as trade unionists, as fighters for the working people, we cannot lie down and roll over. We have to strategize and we have to devise strategy and tactics within which, despite COVID, we can effectively deliver on our mandate. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Witter, for that very moving educational presentation. Now I'd like you to give Brother Witter, our fraternal brother, not our guest speaker, a resounding round of applause. Now I made three observations from, a lot of things he spoke about, but some things that, I made note of is that one, which is true, employers and others using COVID as an excuse for the abuse situation. It is true. And it is going on a daily basis. How does one fight against that is something that we'll have to devise. Because it's something new to us. We've never faced a pandemic. Two, women commitment and fortitude in the struggle. It cannot be overstated. Let me tell you something. A lot of women is be out there struggling. Most men that be out there is because the guy will see if the woman they're out there. They are nothing but go support nothing. They gone in the horse race parlor and they're going there. Now a lot of persons may look out there, persons whose mothers might be there and they want to ensure that the mother is not harmed. Or I don't know what the men this really go for see what the woman doing. But I think the government make sure that they're safe also. And another point that is very, very important, and we must never forget this. Whenever workers are violated, we must support them. And he gave two examples, the sugar workers and the nurses in Linden. We must support them. I'm waiting to see when the TUC will arrange such thing and we will get our people to go up, taking protocol, this COVID protocol into consideration, because I feel that the gladdest protocol thing there, enough people can't come and block the roads. Anyhow, we had a very simple evening within the COVID protocols, and I'd like to extend our thanks to the General Secretary and his staff, other executive, and others who work to ensure that this activity be held, irrespective of COVID-19, but not in violation of protocol. So, I'd like to say thank you to the representatives from the various unions present here. It is a clear indication of your commitment and loyalty to the cause. And three, the major and public address operatives whose importance to this activity cannot be overstated. So there again, I'd like to thank everyone, and we're glad that you're here, and we know you'll always be here. Thank you very much. Like I said before, the speech was well presented, and we'd like to have the resounding applause. But then again, on behalf of the TUC, of which you're a part, and everybody here, and in keeping with this thing, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you again. Okay. Now we'll have the national anthem. I think that's the next thing on the national anthem. land of Guyana, forever and flame, weary by the sun and love by the light between mountains and sea. Your children shall rule you, dear land of the free. Some of you would have to leave me in the second and third step. It's not possible to chorus with the top. You will hear our the service each day that God guide you and make us to be worthy of everything and of the free. Okay.
Labor Day, we have only been authorized to have 40 persons in the auditorium. So we will try as far as practical to honor the COVID regulations. We are going to be talking. We have invited both the Minister of Labor and the Shadow Minister of Labor. So this forum starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. We will try as far as practical to have as many trade union leaders speaking. This will be carried on live on Ben's Cup Radio, Com TV, a number of social media platforms. So you can encourage your members to stay at home and receive the message. It was our intention to have a symbolic march from parade ground onto that such gatherings will not be allowed. Well, these are the rules, and if we believe in the process that we want to work, not only to minimize but to eradicate every aspect of this pandemic, we need to, as leaders, conform to these rules and practices that are important to this at this moment. By Wednesday, we'll get a list of all these persons, the lineup of the order and lineup of this. We will not be deterred from saying what we want to see, what is necessary to be said. Let me once again, well, be honest, let me say that thanks for coming out. We were catering for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. We love it. Give yourself a round of applause and have a good night.
All of that be forever.